Okay, here we go. Topic 2, isolating a specific variable. So in this review, in this section, you're going to have to pay really close attention to the instructions to tell you which variable to look at. So in our first example, it wants you to solve for y. So we have y plus 6x equals 10. Here's y. I want to get that by itself. So the only thing in the way of having y on its own side of the equal sign is this plus 6x. So I'm just going to move them to the other side by doing minus 6x. So what we're left with after we do that, I still have y over here, just y, plus 6x and minus 6x are gone. So I have equals, okay, 10 minus 6x. Okay, we cannot combine these because the 6 is a number of x's and 10 does not have x's. So this is our final answer right here. Y equals 10 minus 6x. You might, or you could write it as y equals negative 6x. So if we move the order of these, that's a positive 10, so that would be a plus 10. That's another way to write the answer. It's the exact same thing, okay? But that's nice because it's kind of in like y equals mx plus b. Okay, solve for y here. So I have 10x minus y equals 50. So y is right here. We're trying to get y by itself, okay? So the first thing away from it is this 10x right here. Okay, this is a positive 10x on the same side as the y. So in order to get rid of it or move it to the other side, we're going to have to do minus 10x on both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so 10x minus 10x, that's gone. Now right here, I still have a minus y equals 50 minus 10x. We cannot combine those because 10 has the x with it and the 50 does not. Okay, we're almost there, but we still have this minus in the way. So that's like a negative 1 times our y. In order to get rid of that, we could divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1, either way. Let's divide everything by negative 1. So I'd have to divide this by negative 1, divide this by negative 1, and divide everything by negative 1. Okay, negative divided by negative, it's gone, so this is just y equals 50 divided by negative 1, well that's negative 50, and then negative 10x divided by negative 1 is positive 10x. So here's our final answer. Y is all by itself. Once again, you could rewrite this as y equals 10x, and then we have a negative 50. But our first answer in orange is perfectly fine. Okay, solve for x here. It's just getting a little bit trickier. So it says solve for x. So here's the x right there we're trying to get by itself. So look at everything that's on the same side as the x. I see this big 2 out front. We need to move that. So in order to move it, it's a positive 2 now. So I'm going to do a minus 2 on both sides. Okay, that's gone. We're still left with, we still have our 1/3 x equals 7y. Can't do anything with that, but I have a positive 6 minus 2. That's going to be a positive 4. Okay, we're almost there. I just have 1/3 times x. Okay, in order to get x by itself, right now it's being multiplied by 1/3. We could divide by 1/3 everything, but that is the same as just multiplying both sides by 3. So we're going to multiply everything by 3. So here we go. 3 times 1/3 is gone. I'm just left with x equals, okay, 3 times 7y is 21 y's, and then 3 times positive 4 is plus 12. Okay, we got x by itself, and that was our goal. So here's our answer. X equals 21y plus 12. Okay, last one. Okay, this one is a little bit weird, so star this. You might have to come back and watch this one a second time. Okay, it says solve for x. Here's x right here, but look, x is also right here. Okay, well, we cannot combine 2x plus 3xy because this second term has a y in it, and the first term does not. So I cannot add these together. So it's going to call for special measures. This is what we're going to have to do. Leave the b alone on the other side. It's just hanging out there. Okay, both of these guys have this x in them, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to factor it out, is what we'll call it. So it's like the opposite of distributing. We'll pull it out of both of them because they have it in common. So I'm going to write the x on the outside and then put parentheses in. Okay, if I pull the x out of this first term, all I'll have left is a 2. Okay, now we still have the plus in the middle, plus. Okay, if I pull the x out of this term, what are we left with? We still have 3y, and we close the parenthesis. Okay, so that's called factoring the x out. See how the x was in both terms? Now it's just outside. If we were to distribute it back in, we'd have to do x times 2 and x times 3y, and we'd end up like we were above. But this lets us, now we have only one x. So now we need to get x by itself, because that's our goal. Right now this is being multiplied by this big thing in parentheses, 2 plus 3y. So in order to get it by itself, we'll just divide both sides by 2 plus 3y. Kind of weird, but this 2 plus 3y cancels out on this side. So over on the left we just have b divided by 2 plus 3y. Not much we can do with that. We just had to leave it like that. It looks gross, but it'll be fine. Equals just x. That's our final answer. Kind of weird, right? But that's called factoring it out. So we were able to do that because both of these terms over here had an x in them. So you might want to go back and watch that in slow motion. But that is solving for a specific variable. So pay really close attention to the instructions about which variable you're trying to get by itself. Okay, awesome. Miss you guys.